Africa, home to a billion football dreams. And somewhere, the next great footballer is about to be revealed. Airtel Rising Stars, 400,000 players, 18,000 teams, 16 countries, 1 African championship. Register now online or at any Airtel shop. Airtel Rising Stars. If you're out there, we'll find you.
This program has been brought to you by Airtel, proud supporter of Africa's rising football stars.
Hello, I'm Bakary Sanya. I'm French and I play for Arsenal Football Club, and I'm here today in Nigeria for you.
In this episode of Airtel Football,
if you want to create great players, then you have to have at least one very good academy.
We said, how can we uplift people? How can we take people out of certain circumstances and give them a world-class opportunity to rise up and to become, the future stars?
And it's destination Zambia for the Airtel Rising Stars launch.
My life has been what you might call a mixed grill.
2013 will see the most elaborate edition of the tournament to date, with over 18,000 teams, 40,000 young boys and girls will be given the chance to impress and to hopefully represent their country at the Africa Championships in Lagos, Nigeria.
We're really pleased with the way that this tournament is developing. We're into our second year and about to kick off our third year. The second year we saw 18,000 teams participating, and that was really fantastic to see. We got amazing support from the ministries of sport and education from the various countries, our country ambassadors, and we had senior politicians attending almost all of the major matches. We also saw the first year of an inter-country tournament called the Airtel Rising Stars Africa Championship, where all the different countries, the 17 countries, teams participated in a big playoff in Nairobi.
Just like in 2012, there will be more heart-in-your-mouth moments and those incredible stories in 2013. It was those stories in the last edition of Airtel's Rising Stars that stand out the most for Bayers, stories that are still developing today. And across Africa, there's an obvious love for English Premier League sides Arsenal FC and Manchester United. Was Airtel's partnership with these two iconic clubs part of a bigger strategy?
So this year, big changes are that we've also added Arsenal in 5 of our countries, where before we only had Manchester United in some of the countries. So both of those clubs are now helping us with the hosting of the soccer schools. They will be in the tournaments. All of their special staff will be there to see and to identify all the talent. So it's not just about the kids that win in the finals, but also seeing if there are some budding stars in some of the other teams that might not win. So that's a little bit of a change that we've made.
For me, it's a great opportunity to come back to my roots. Of course, I'm from Senegal. It's different. It's a different country, but we're all brothers, as we said, and it feels great because I didn't come back in Africa since 2 years now. We have many games. We have to play with national team. We have many friendly games in between holidays, so I'm very happy to be here.
Football has the ability to connect and empower communities, and this is where programs like Airtel's Rising Stars come in. The ambitious Pan-African Soccer Talent Program has taken center stage in identifying and nurturing budding soccer talent from the grassroots onto a national level, and in the process providing a structured platform for scouts, coaches, football authorities, and other partners to tap into a vast pool of upcoming talent.
Just gives your maximum. First off, of course, they have to behave, always listen to their parents, always listen to advices. And after, give the maximum, be 100% focused at training, during training sessions. They have plenty of time to enjoy with their friends, but work is work.
This year, Airtel will focus on football with fresh ideas, allowing football fans to have a real connection. The 2013 edition of Airtel Rising Stars also sees a new partnership formed. This one between Airtel Africa and electronics giant Samsung. A perfect partnership of two of Africa's most loved brands.
Samsung Electronics and Airtel across all operations in Africa. We have partnered together to drive the African Rising Star. This is a youthful spirit soccer challenge to create teams and to create future models. We would like to see more stars coming from Africa, and that's why we've partnered together. So that Airtel is in 17 countries, Samsung is a global partner. So we've identified the need to actually train youth in Africa to become better soccer players. And we've come together to make sure that we're able to identify talent, train talent, and motivate them to be able to be better soccer players. We have many properties that we operate in. So Airtel came up with the proposal, and because of we are partners in supply of handsets in all parts of Africa, that's why we together found a better joint way to go into 17 countries all across Africa where Airtel is, and give their subscribers the best devices and the best technology in innovation and smartphones. And together we can see a winning partnership between Samsung and Airtel in this African Rising Star proposition.
In 2012, the introduction of a Pan-African soccer tournament for the winning boys and girls team from each country was the centerpiece of the competition. This year, Airtel will focus on football with fresh ideas, allowing football fans to have a real connection. Manchester United football screenings hosted by club legends, taking the Premier League to the grassroots and offering an exclusive and exciting experience for consumers to support their teams and shake hands with legends from Manchester United. The first screening at Nairobi's Carnival Restaurant, the highly anticipated clash between Manchester United and Queen's Park Rangers, was officiated by one very special legend of the game.
Yes, well, Man United has been doing a lot of sort of community work with Airtel Rising being one of them, and they will be doing more work with the grassroots. So yeah, but you know, you're not going to make great players out of doing community work. Community work is just to help out, especially with the underprivileged, and give them a sense of the glamour of Manchester United and being part of that glamour. If you want to create great players, then you have to have at least one very good academy. If Africa had the money to create fantastic academies, and I think there are some countries who do. I mean, Nigeria is one, South Africa is another, and unfortunately we don't see fantastic academies there. But if we could build 2 or 3 on this continent, we'd have some of the best players in the world, because our players are naturally big and strong, especially in Central and Central, East and West Africa. Not so much South Africa, but they're big and strong. I mean, Yaya Toure is just a most fantastic player. I mean, he really, really is. And they're hungry for success. You know, it's a very poor continent. A lot of the families are extremely poor. One person being successful overseas in football can help not just his family, but the community and the country. So the desire is there.
Gary Bailey was Manchester United's #1 between 1978 and 1987, and he made nearly 300 appearances for the club.
If our players are going to European academies and becoming great players, they can go to African academies and become great players. I don't think there's a big difference there. It just should have a lot more. Right now we're getting 1 or 2 coming through, you know. Maybe Nigeria's got, I don't know, 10, 15 players playing in Europe, but not many at the very top level. But if we had a really good academy in any one country, especially the likes of Nigeria and Ghana, but even here, one great academy, you produce 10, 12 players, Africa could win the World Cup. The only reason Africa doesn't win the World Cup, and we saw Ghana come very close in South Africa, is I just don't think we have enough players playing at that level. There's always 1 or 2 who are not, you know, who are local players who are not good enough, and you need them in a tournament. Whereas if you look at Germany, you know, the entire squad is great players. Spain, the entire squad is great players. So, and those are the teams who keep winning trophies.
For Bailey and Manchester United, the Airtel Rising Stars platform is about developing young football talent.
Soccer is the sport, rather, of Africa. There's no question about it. I mean, the passion there is huge. That's what I'm saying. You can take that passion. The one thing about European players is even the poorer ones, they're not poor. They've always got a home. I mean, they have a social system in Britain that gives them a home, no matter what. So you've always got a home, you've always got food on your table. You come to Africa, there's a lot of people who have to survive day by day. And you know, if I've got a family of you know 6 or 7, and I've got nephews and nieces, and they're all poor and not starving, but you know, certainly not well fed, and I've got the chance to become a great player, I'm going to become a great player. Unless you break my legs, I'm going to become a great player, because I know what it can do for me, for my family, for my community. That desire is important. I think we have the potential to produce many more great players in Africa.
With Airtel Rising Stars and the ability to mix and mingle with the true legends of the game, football in Africa is certainly being given a push in the right direction. When we return, we speak to the voice of Zambian football, Dennis Luwewe.
Excite your life with Samsung Galaxy Music.
Africa, home to a billion football dreams. And somewhere, the next great footballer is about to be revealed. Airtel Rising Stars, 400,000 players, 18,000 teams, 16 countries, 1 African championship. Register now online or at any Airtel shop. Airtel Rising Stars. If you're out there, we'll find you.
Welcome back to Airtel Football, and welcome to the home of Chipolo Polo. The entire world watched in 2012 as the perpetual underdog managed the unthinkable, winning the Africa Cup of Nations final on penalties against Côte d'Ivoire. A country stacked with talent and some of the biggest names in the world. Zambia did it with heart, desire, and pride. Football is by far the most popular sport here, and as Airtel's Rising Stars rolled out its 3rd campaign in Zambia, it attracted some of the biggest names in football within the country, including the Zambian FA's president and a legend of the game, Kalusha Bwalia. For the great Kalu, this is the perfect way for some of these kids to one day don the colors of Zambia's Copper Bullets. And with huge strides in the area of football development, thanks to Airtel and their partners, the sky is the limit.
It's an honor and a privilege for us as a Football Association of Zambia to be able to partner with Airtel. This being the 2nd year that Airtel has partnered with FAS. I thought last year it went very well. The talent identification and culminating into a tournament which is going to take place just after the COSAFA. It's a wonderful thing. It's a great opportunity for the youth of today, for the boys and girls to come out and to be prepared and to challenge themselves. And if they are not chosen, maybe I think they will take away good things about life.
I feel greatly honored to be here today to officially launch the 3rd season of Airtel Rising Stars, a CS strategy that gives an opportunity to every pragmatic youth meeting the age requirement of under 17 and is an Airtel customer. Our CSR strategy is hedged around education of the mind, of the body, and of the soul.
And with it making huge strides year in and year out, the competition has grown as they hope to transform the game and the players who live for it.
Actually, I'm called Kingsley Mkuka, coming from Kasama. Now I'm living in Kafiwa. because of football. Yeah, I'm playing for Kafio Celtic. Yeah, and at national level, last year I was in under 17. Now this year, I'm promoted to under 20. I got an opportunity of playing for the Zambia national team under 17. Actually, Airtel has changed my life in football. Yeah, I wasn't thinking maybe I can play for the national level, but through them, I had an opportunity to play for the national level. I even have a chance of playing to Kafio Celtic. It's through Airtel. Yeah, so I'm appreciating the management for what they're doing. I think they have to do a lot. Yeah, to do a lot about me and my fellow youths.
Airtel Rising Stars has transformed my life because from the time I played for Airtel, they saw my ability. So from there I was picked to play for the national team. The experience is quite different. The way you play from your clubs or from the community is different from the way you play at national level. Because at national level there's a lot of competition than in clubs or youth football.
But it's not just the kids who participate who are seeing the immediate benefits of the Airtel Rising Stars competition. As a coach who believes in the youth system, Green Buffalo's coach, Patrick Feary, has seen firsthand how nurturing talent from the grassroots can impact football on all levels, as it has here in the Zambian Premier League and at the national level.
I was very privileged that when we held the national talent search, Airtel talent search, I was appointed the chairman of the selection committee. And I was very happy with this kind of organization because normally in this area, youth development, it's difficult to get good funding. And it was good to see Airtel come on board and organize this very important element in the development of football. Because if you start nurturing young players at this age, identifying them, and then you groom them, it's the only way you can improve your game, because these are the young players who eventually graduate to the senior team and put pressure on the aging players. And you find when this is being done, it means that football is developing at a very good rate, because the youngsters are young, enthusiastic, very keen and very passionate, and they revive the fighting spirit in the senior players. And this has helped us even here in Zambia now. We've got quite a number of youngsters who have come to the scene because of the young players that have come onto the scene. We're really grateful to Airtel.
And Feary and the Zambian football fraternity certainly understand the difficulty of emulating the success of 2012. The following year in South Africa, the Africa Cup of Nations tournament ended in bitter disappointment for Zambia's national side. The dream for those who take part in the Airtel Rising Stars competition is to one day emulate their heroes like Kalusha Bwalia, Patrick Banda, or Godfrey Chitalu, a man whose legend still lives on within Zambian football folklore. Dennis Liwewe is the voice of Zambian football, and he vividly remembers Chitalu.
He was born on the Copper Belt, played for a team called Kitwe United. They were not, in every team, there are smaller teams and there are bigger teams. He played for Kitwe United, but was poached, that's the word we use in Zambia, was poached by big Kabwe Warriors. Kabwe Warriors is the Zambia Railways team in Kabwe, where we used to pick about, 5 out of the 11 players on the pitch. The greatest player Zambia has ever produced. Kalusha Bwalia will be the one who will agree that, yes, you're right. Kalusha, you know the history, brilliant boy as a player. Played in Africa, player of the year, played in Europe, played in South America. You will be the first to admit Godfrey Chitalu was the greatest. Godfrey was tall, about 6'2". A bad boy, in inverted commas. He was regarded as a bad boy at Kitwe United. I'm talking of from the point of view of discipline. So Chitalu left, joined Kabwe Warriors, where he became a gentleman. Striker, wearing shirt number 10, but playing 9. He would go forward. Scored 107 goals in one season Me, I live in a world of facts and figures. Godfrey Chitalu scored 107 goals in one season alone, and we told the FIFA he scored a total of 107 goals in one season alone.
Liwewe has seen it all, from the heroics of Chitalu's record-breaking season to one of world football's darkest moments, Chipolo Polo's unprecedented success in